Welcome everyone. This is your dream come true. This is Excel Simulation 2B. Does not get any more exciting than that. So sit back and relax, buckle up your seatbelts, and let's dive right in. So this one over here is only going to have 16, but it won't take as long even as the 20 from before because there are not so many things to do. So basically, we're going to double click the Sheet 1 tab and type on one set. Sales, that's a way of renaming it. You can either double click on it or you can just right click on it and choose rename. So we're just going to make this online sales. And we're done. We can click somewhere else or hit the enter key. Then it wants us to change the tab color to the next to last column and the first one. So to do that, just right click on the tab itself, go to tab color, and we're going to go to the next to last column, which should be the blue one. And we're done with that. Notice that it changed. It's kind of like a gradient. Rename sheet 2. So I'm going to right click on that, type in store sales. Knew I could do it. In and then the hyphen, store. Spelling does count. And then we'll do the tab color, which is going to be the last column and the first color. So here's tab color, last column, which will be green, and the first color. All right, that's the first question. So in the online sales sheet, we're going to click cell. We are in the online sales sheet. We're going to double click just to make sure. And we are going to click in cell A16. And we want to format it to a different, right now it's just showing a month and a day. So different ways to do it. I'm going to go into the date over here and choosing the bottom number where you go automatically to date, and we'll choose the 3/14/12. The difference between the 3/14/12 and this one is here, it's going to put the leading 0 where this one does not. Takes care of that. In the online sales meeting, A19, type in 6/7/22. So I'm just going to type in 6/7/22. Some of you may be wondering how do you know you're not dividing it, and it's simple. There's no equal sign. So again, we want to use the format painter to change it. The format on 19, the same as 16. So we'll just click the format painter one time, click the format painter over here, and we're done. So on the online sales sheet, we want to clear the contents of cells A1 and A2. So we can do that just by dragging them both and selecting them both. We can right click on and choose clear contents. You could also go into the format. Let's just do it the easy way. So that all that did was get rid of the text, kind of like the same as hitting delete. Doesn't change the format then. So in the online sales sheet in A1, type on online sales. Notice that it's green fill and black text. And then select A1 and A2. And we're going to clear formats. To clear the formats, we're going to go to clear in the editing group. Make sure you're on the home tab and just choose clear formats. So now we have on the online sales sheet, we're going to select A4 to A19. So here's A4. We're going to go all the way down to A19. Right click and choose copy, which is pretty easy, or you can choose the copy up here. So let's right click and choose copy. You could also hit Control C. Notice the marching ants. Then we want to, we want to go to the in-store sales. And we're going to click in A4 and choose paste. So let's just choose paste here. And we can use all. So let's use all. Or you can click on paste here and just choose the paste here. So there's several different ways of doing it. Display the online sales sheets, which is here, and we want to hit the escape key to get rid of the more moving border. They're called marching ants. So we hit the escape, and it's done. So we're going to right-click the outline sales tab, and we're going to select all. That allows you to do multiple things in the sheets. So we can do whatever we do to one, we do to the other. So in the worksheet group, select columns A through G, and we want to set the width to 85 pixels. So just drag any one of them, and let's find 85. So that's 69, 90, 80. 84 is close enough. It should move to 85. In A2, type week of May 24th. So we have week of May 24, and I will just click over here. And we want to merge and center text across A2 to G2. A2 to G2, we're merging and center. Apply heading 1 to that, so we'll go to Cell Styles, and here's our heading 1. And then we're going to ungroup it. So let's just right click and choose Ungroup Sheets. And then let's see, to display the in-store details, so we'll click there. So we're going to group the online sales and the in-store sheets again. So notice that these things are the same. We did the week 24, and so we're good to there, and we copied all this stuff down. I'm going to click on the in-store and see what happens. Notice that's the same. So we want to group the online and the in-store. We're done in cell E5, enter a function. So let's go to E5. That sums the values in B5 to D5, which is B5 here to D5. So it's climbing, patio, and total roses. So we can just go into AutoSum and choose sum. And notice that it's selected B5 to D5. So I'm going to hit the enter key up top here. So I can use the fill handle to drag down. And that's good. In cell G5, which is right here, we want a function that sums the values of E5 to F5, which is these two. Now bear in mind, when we do the AutoSum, it's going to go all the way back to B. So that's no big deal to do. Let's click on the AutoSum. And I'm just going to select these two here. And then we have the E5 to F5. And I'll hit the enter key from up top. And we'll use the fill handle again. That is number 6. So we're almost halfway there. In the group worksheet, select the range B5 to G12. Now, if you don't know if they're selected, just right-click, and if it shows ungroup, then you're good. Now, because we're in the simulation, it's there you go. So we're going to ungroup it, so you know that they're grouped. So we don't want to obviously ungroup it. So in the group worksheet, select the range B5 to G12. So we have B5 to G12. And we want to use the sum. Now, because we're selecting the range here and we use the sum, it's going to fill in everything down over here. So let's go. It tells us to use the Alt equal key to do it. So I'm going to hit my Alt key, hit the equal key, and to fill the sum in. Or I could just use the sum. So with the worksheets group, select the range A5 to A12, A5 to A12, and apply heading 4. So here's heading 4. With the worksheet still grouped, select B5 to G5. So here is B5 to G5, and we want B12 to G12. So to do that, all we need to do is hold the control key and that will add to the selection. And we want to do the accounting number format. So if you click on the accounting number format and nothing happens, just make sure you have the right selection. And we want to apply the comma to B6 to G11. So here's B6 to G11, and this is the comma. Apply the total cell range to B12 to G12, so B12 to G12, and we go to cell styles, and we're going to hit the total, which is this one here. Now we are officially halfway done. Right-click the online sales and choose Ungroup. So that's fairly easy to do, which we did. Display the in-store sales sheet. So we're good. And we are going to insert a new worksheet in the workbook to the right of sales sheet. Different ways to do it. One of the things you can always do is right-click and choose Insert. But since we want to do it to the right over here, the easiest way is just click on the plus sign. And then we'll rename it and call it Summary. You can also use the Insert up top and create a new tab if you want. So on the Summary, select cells A through E. So this is A through E. And we'll change it to 110 pixels. So we need to go as close as we can. 111 is close enough. And in cell A1, type sales of rose plants and rose supplies. Sales of rose plants and rose supplies. Let's just use this enter here. And we're going to merge A to E. That was number 10. We're now on 11. So in the summary, we're going to click cell C5, which happens to be right here. And we're going to click on the Online Sales tab and click on cell E11. So let's go to the Online Sales. Notice that this is the Online Sales. This is the in-store. So we're going to click on the Online Sales. And then we're going to hit, actually, I missed the equal sign, so let's hit the equal sign. So now we're going to go to the online sales. Now notice what it did. It put a single quote and online sales and then an exclamation mark, and then we can click on cell E12 or we can physically type it in. So it's going to put whatever is in this cell in the summary tab. So let's press enter, see what happens. So we're back over here, so we have 43,460. Let's go to the online sales and 43,460. Now we're going to go in D5 and we're going to do the same thing, only we're going to use it from F12. So let's hit the equal sign and we're going to go to the, we're still in the online, so we want to go to the rows, which is in F12. Here's F12, and we'll hit the enter key. And in cell C6, we're going to do the total rows sales from the store sales. So let's hit the equal, in store, and it wants E6. And we're going to do the same thing here for F12. In store, and then F12. Boom. 5 more to go. On the summary sheet, select C5 to E6. So here is C5 to E6. And let me read this again. On the summary sheet, select the range C5 to E6. There we go. Knew I could get it right. In the editing group, we want to do AutoSum. Now, when you're doing this and you're selecting it, it's going to put it in here and here, the AutoSum, which is basically like doing AutoSum here and AutoSum there. It's just a shortcut to do that. So let's click on AutoSum and see what happens. So I put it in there automatically. There's more than one way to do that. One of them is a quick analysis that you'll see when you're selecting things. Mac users may or may not get it. On the summary sheet, we're going to select C5 to E7. C5 to E7. And notice that we have selected something that's blank. And then we're going to do the sum again. In the in-store sheets, change the value in B8 to 140 or 1410. So let's go to in-store. We're going to go to B8. And we're going to change that to 1410.88. So that should affect the other formulas in here. So we're going to display the summary sheet. And it should update it. In the summary sheet, in cell B5, which happens to be here, insert a column Sparkline comparing the online row sales and the rows that are in C5 to D5. Sounds a lot harder, but, let's click on Insert, and we want to do a column Sparkline. So here's a column Sparkline. So now it just asks where's the data range, which is C5 to D5. So here is C5. And here is D5. Click on OK. And we have a blue one. And we're going to change the color in a little bit. So in B6, which is this, we're going to do the same thing, only using C6 and D6. So let's go to Insert. And we'll go to column Sparkline. And then we want C6 to D6. And we'll click on OK. So we have blue and blue. It's basically looks kind of the same. So now we want to change the style. So we're going to change B6 here. We're going to go to the styles. And it wants us to do the third row 4 styles. So 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. So now we have 2 different colors. Looking pretty good. And number 14 in the summary tab. Move the sheet so it's before the online sales. So you can just take it and drag it. If it doesn't work, you could actually right click and choose move and decide where it is. So let's try this again here. You could move or copy and then it lets you do it. Now, because we had already done it, it didn't take in assimilation. So point to the summary sheet, right click and choose select all. So let's go to summary, select all sheets. We want to center the worksheets horizontally and insert the file name. So I'm going to go to page layout and I'm going to go to page setup and see if everything that we want is there. So right now our page is really not important. Let's go to margins. And we have our margins, and here we have center horizontally. Then it wants us to put the file name in the footer in the left one. So let's just go to header and footer, and we need to do a custom footer. So we want to be in the left, and here is the file name. Click on OK. Don't click on this one first. Click on this one here, and then click on the OK. So we're good there. Print all of the worksheets at one time. Well, it sounds a lot harder than it really is. So let's go to 5. Now notice they're all grouped together. So we're going to go to File and Print. And it says Print all active sheets. Or you can print the entire workbook. So let's click on Print the entire workbook. And let's click on Print and see what happens. And that takes care of this. With the bonus tab active, so let's click on the bonus tab. We're going to click on cell C4. And on the function library, we want to group one, and we want to create a formula and give them a bonus. Okay, we can do that. So we have a whole bunch of stuff that we need to put in here. So we're going to go to the formulas, and we're going to create an if. So let's go to logical, and we want if s. Did not like what I did. Let's sell because I'm in the wrong cell. So let's go to C4. Let's try it again. And the logical test is, now notice that we have a logical test and a value if true. So let's go and type in first in test 1. Let's go to B4 greater than $49.99. And if the value is true, they get a big $500. Now notice as soon as you did that, it created a logical test too. So here we want B4 is greater than $39.99. And if so, then he gets a $350 bonus. And then we want B4 greater than 29. And that will be $250. And then logical test 4 is B4 greater than 0. And then we are going to put in a 0. So if everything is in there correct, it should give us the results we're looking for, which it did. Now it wants us to copy it down. And we have 350, 0, 250, and 500. Then we're going to do the formula. Now, don't be shocked when the 0 becomes just a plain minus sign or a dash. So don't be concerned about that. So let's go and click on the accounting. And it did not like what I just did. Apply the accounting format to B4 to C7. So let's actually do it with the right one. So we have B4 to C7. And this became a dash in here. And then we're going to decrease the decimal 2 times. So we need to go here. This is increase and this is decrease. That will get rid of the 0.00. And that is everything. Notice the blank white screen. So not to worry about that. That's what you get. Once you're done, it will submit into Pearson.